You know what's really stupid? Is I was fucking talking and realized later that you couldn't hear a goddamn thing that I said. So I am really sorry. Anyway, what I had said was I was thinking about recording something and I didn't know what the fuck I was going to record. So I just decided to record something that I used to play and that I used to be good at. So good fucking luck me, I guess. We'll see. Ah, son of a... I'm already starting like trash. So, gist of it, shoot them and don't get shot. These chests, sometimes they have an affinity to breathe, and if they do, you don't want to touch them because they'll bite your ass. I don't know what the fuck that is. I think remote bullets. That sounds really fucking stupid. I don't know why I'd want that, but I have it now, so there's that. I don't know how far I'm going to get in this, but I mean, since this is just like a howdy doody video for you to watch me out of boredom, I suppose, then it won't really matter that it's like super short because I'm gonna get my ass handed to me. I'll try to make it like at least 15 to 20 minutes if I can last that long. If I can't, then I'm just gonna fucking throw it in the garbage. That's what I'm gonna not throw. I'll send it to you either way. Um, Hopefully you are doing well. Hopefully you are also done with school by now, and if so, Congruent Alliance. That'll be awesome. I'm also hoping that by the time... Wait, didn't I get shot? What? Oh, he has armor. Okay. So the first bullet that he takes to the face goes to his armor. It's fine. I was actually playing another game, and that game is timed, almost like a cell phone game. So basically, I decided to start recording for you, and by the time I'm done with this, that'll be done. That's what I figured I would do. Kind of killing two birds with one stone. Also, it's about 7:30 p.m. over here, so in about an hour and 15 minutes, Brittany will be getting off work and coming home. Plenty of time for me to record this and then upload it to YouTube if it sounds decent. If it doesn't sound decent, then, well, I'll be trying again tomorrow. So, if you never see this, that's what the hell happened. If you do see it, hey, it worked. I am so professional. Also, I don't think I mentioned this before, but I don't have any kind of like professional recording software or anything like that. So everything, this is a shit room. Everything is going to be severely unprofessional. I don't have any kind of editing software to cut out stupid moments or stop you from seeing my hideous body. But so apologies for that. That's another reason why I'm going to keep them semi-short, just so that you're not like stuck with a bunch of filler. You mentioned before when I was talking to you today that you watch French YouTubers. What do you normally watch those French YouTubers do? Is it like a, I don't know, like a comedy thing? Is it like, are they going on a trip in their favorite rocket ship? Like, what's going on with that? Sorry, that is a reference to a children's TV show. No, just curious, like what you guys watch on YouTube, because you said French YouTubers. So I'm just like, what do they do? I think I had mentioned before that I watched How Ridiculous, which is like an Aussie group. Jacksepticeye, he's Irish, although he's very Americanized now. Not so much. He's still Irish, but he's very Westernized, I should say. So, like, he'll always say that he's the worst Irishman ever, but he's pretty entertaining to watch. He only plays video games. Most of the people that I watch, that's what they do. They play video games. Some of the people that I watch do other things. There is an Aussie. What the hell does he do? He's a blacksmith, I guess. Because basically he just smelts down a bunch of ores and makes copper bars, aluminum bars, steel bars, that kind of thing. That's just what he does for fun. I don't guess that makes him a blacksmith innately, but that is the kind of stuff that he does as a hobby for fun. We're going to teleport back to that other chest. This should give us our first weapon, because right now we're using a little bitch-ass pistol that's infinite ammo, but like 0 damage. Cool. Now we've got the rad gun, where if you miss, it tells you that you're whack.
Whack.
Like that. Get ready to hear that a whole bunch. Looks like it's boss time. I don't see any other rooms that we can go in. So there we go. It's just the king. We got this.
Whack.
My bad. I'm sorry, skateboard.
Whack.
No, I got shot. I wasn't supposed to.
Whack.
Okay, listen. I'll pay attention. Get away from me, idiot. Okay, well listen, I didn't have time. Oops. He's almost dead, and I'm getting, like, shredded. And getting told that I'm whack at the same time. At least I find it entertaining that I'm whack. He's dead. That was awful, by the way. I got hit 3 times. You're supposed to go through the boss fights without getting hit at all, and you will get extra health. He gave me his gun. His gun kind of sucks ass, but whatever, I'll take it. Yeah. Get fucked, little bastard. I will take this. Yoink. And we're gonna go down. Alright, that was level 1. We did it. On to level 2. You said you're part German, so like, are you as fluent in German as you are in French, or is it just kind of like secondary, just heritage? I'm part Native American, and I know fuck all about Native American languages. I am actually Creole and Native American. So, me being Creole, you'd be like, oh, so you know some French. I know 0. I'm like the most uncultured motherfucker that ever did live, and I apologize for that. Also, when you're homeschooled, you don't seem to have any kind of ethnic, like you don't seem to lean towards any group one way or the other. I could give 2 fucks about Black History Month over here, which that's a thing, by the way. Mostly because all it does is incite hate. I don't like things that just spark a reason for people to be mad or hate. So, not really my favorite holiday. Well, it's not a holiday, but there's like an entire month where people just like dress up as if they're from Africa. By the way, I've never been to Africa, never probably going to Africa, so the term African American always eluded me and annoyed me. Like, that's what I was saying earlier, is like, not allowed to just be called American. Oh, I was wondering why the fuck the bullets were doing that. I got that remote control thingy. That's right. Fuck this thing. Dead. I don't think I need to go down there and get cursed. So it's not. I have beaten this game before, but not with this character. So, like, I don't remember. I think there's like 4 or 5 characters. There's a different ending for each, and if you beat them all, I'm guessing you get something special. I don't know, because I've never done it. I normally beat it with the Huntress first, because she has a really strong crossbow to start the game off with. And I think I beat it with the Jailbird, but I think I cheated in order to beat it with her. Because on PC, you can cheat if you want. You can run an editor and give yourself infinite health and things like that. Obviously, that's not what I'm doing now. I figured if I was going to show you anything, then I'd just show you a game. And next time I play for you, it'll probably be something different too. I'm not going to keep doing the same thing. That might be boring. I don't know why it defaults with the bullets going up there. Oh, was there a dude up there? Oh, my bad, bullets. Y'all knew what you were doing, and I didn't know what you were doing. How dare I? No, they're just fucking stupid. You guys keep going over to the right. What the hell is over there? There's nothing over there. What do you want, Link? Okay, he's basically saying if I go and map out the entire floor of this dungeon, that he'll give me money or whatever, or a gun or something like that. I think he's looking for a specific room. I don't know. I thought he was looking for a specific room. Guess I'm wrong. Um, let's go back up here. Yeah. I guess he just wants the whole floor. Is it breathing? No. That's trash. So basically that treasure chest was empty, and the thief that stole it is laughing at me. It's kind of a waste of keys. It's not like I get them for free. Alright, you're dead. Ooh. You missed me. So I guess since we don't want to sit here in silence, because that would kind of defeat the purpose of you listening to this video, I could tell you a story about... Wax wings would be really good. Oh, but if I catch on fire, I'm lost. A crown. The fuck does a crown do? I want to find out. Anyway, I will give you a couple options. I can tell you about some childhood stories. I can tell you about the shitty military experience that I had. I can tell you just funny random stories about like embarrassing stuff. I don't really get embarrassed per se. Like, in order for me to be embarrassed, I have to like mistreated somebody. That's embarrassing to me. But like falling on my ass or something like that, it's not fucking embarrassing to me anymore. I could care less. Like when I was not everybody's dead. Whoa, Sarah. When I was younger, I want to say I was like breathing. I was like, oh, that's a heart. 16, 17? I think it's 17. I went with my friends to this church out in Oakland. Oakland is about an hour and a half to 2 hour drive from where I live now. I was much farther from them because they lived in the mountains. It's the friend that I told you about before that lives in the mountains. At any rate, let's do this. How do I, yeah, do that. Alright. It was their home church. That's where they had moved to the mountains from. They had originally lived in Oakland. And I had a crush on this girl that was at their church. And I wanted to impress her in the most loser way possible, so I thought that I would do something cool, like jump over this gap that was in the church stairs. So I went back, got my wind up, but the problem was the ground that I was running on is grass, and so there's like zero fucking traction. And I go back, and I actually made a pretty good effort. I don't know how I got that much traction, but right as I get to the edge, that's where I fucked up, and my foot kind of slipped as I was about to jump, and I got across 90% of this like 20 to 22 foot gap, and I landed. So the little grassy knoll was about 3 foot high from where the stairs were. So there's stairs coming from the church, and there's 2 embankments on either side about 3 foot high, and there's grass on the top. But the walls of it are made out of like concrete or whatever you want to call it, stone. I jumped, I cleared most of the stairs, and landed literally on the edge of the staircase. Like, it couldn't have been any worse. Except for, I guess it didn't hit me in the sour spot, and I was still able to have kids, so I guess it's something. But, good lord, everybody was like dying fucking laughing, and then I had a couple of girls come over and ask, was I alright? And once I nodded, then they proceeded to laugh. But naturally, the girl that I thought was cute, she was not fucking impressed. And I ended up going to that church another time, like with the same friends actually. And I still thought this girl was cute, but I was just like, hey, so clearly she doesn't remember that, right? Like, who was that guy? Fuck that guy. That wasn't me. I would have never done anything like that. So, um, the problem this time was I didn't have a clean suit to wear for church. So, like, it's kind of customary for everybody in my religion to just dress up for church. I've noticed that a lot of just people in general don't dress up for church now. If they go to church, they just kind of wear jeans or whatever the fuck. But we always dressed up. So anyway, I didn't have a clean suit. And so I had to wear one of my father's suits, and it looked like a fucking parachute on me. Well, I look like a fucking moron, and so I'm going up trying to talk to this girl, and she kind of chuckled while I was talking to her, and then, like, after church, dude, like, I went up to her car to, like, just keep talking to her, and she's like, why are you still trying to talk to me? She's like, you don't even know how stupid you look right now in that big-ass suit. So, like, obviously I'm not going to talk to you at all. You might as well just quit while you're ahead. And, I had some serious, like, defenses going on, man, because, like, I'd have been shredded if somebody had told me that now. But, like, I kind of just, oh, okay. Well, it's cool. I didn't want to talk to you anyway, kind of vibe. Even though I hella wanted to talk to her, and it hurt my feelings pretty bad, but, like, I didn't cry or anything. Like, I was just like, oh, alright, well, that girl's a bitch, so fuck her, I guess. But to be honest, that's literally just the kind of luck that I had with girls back then. Like, nobody cared, nobody thought that I was cool. And so, like, I always wanted to just go and talk to girls that weren't in the church, because I was like, dude, church girls are bitches, bro. They think they're hot shit, and it's like, you guys are average as fuck. Maybe you should tone it down a notch. If I was allowed to talk to girls outside of church, it'd be over for you. You wouldn't get any kind of attention. Naturally, my parents had just told me, oh, no, you need to find yourself a nice church girl, and that just wasn't the one for you. And yeah, okay, cool. Well, you guys didn't have to date the bitches that I did, so. But anyway, obviously, since I'm with Brittany, none of that matters, and it's a good thing that they were all ridiculous. I thought you were dead, bro. Now I'm whack. Thanks. I have 0 aim. Hit him. He needs to be dead now. Thanks. How is that a whack? I reloaded on the right spot. Yeah, like that. Got him. Alright, he's dead. God damn it. Thought I hit that. Anyway, many more adventures like that where I was just trying to talk to some girl and it didn't really work out that way. I remember one time we went to, how can I describe this? So I was in a club called Pathfinders. Pathfinders was a lot like Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, if you've ever heard or you know what that is. Basically, kids from the ages like 8 to 15 go out and do like naturey stuff and community service, helping old people, things like that. You get badges, you feel good about yourself, things like that. Well, this one was church oriented, so that said, it was co-ed because obviously church wasn't going to let you do anything crazy with the girlies. But at least we got to hang out with girlies because Boy Scouts is just a sausage fest. Fuck that noise. I remember, give me that. I thought this other girl, Kendra, was cute, but she was a tomboy. I kind of had a thing for tomboys. They were tough, but I felt like they had a cute side, and I really wanted to appeal to it. I had 0 chance, but I wanted to try anyway. And after this camp was over, I saw her talking to like a couple of girls that didn't like me, but I wanted to say goodbye because most of the people at these camps came from pretty far away, like a couple 100 miles away. This camp was for all of the churches in Northern California to kind of gather together. And California's a pretty big place. Like, if you go from top to bottom, I think it takes about 16 hours or so to get across the whole thing. I don't have another key. That's dog shit. Well, can't get this chest for now. So let's see. Maybe this store will have a key, unless I already went to this store. I don't know. But anyway, she was hanging out with, like, basically my enemies, and I was gonna be fucking put off, so I went over there anyway, and they're, like, talking mad shit. And so, like, I'm kind of looking all sheepishly over at Kendra. And she just, like, kind of fucking calls me out. She's like, dude, if you want a hug, then just get over here. And I was like, okay. Then I hugged her goodbye, but then I was like, you know what? I was gonna ask for like her email address or her phone number. Fuck that. Nah. She just made me look like a bitch in front of all of the girls that already don't like me.
Nice.
So like, I'll just be bitch central when I go back home. So um, didn't talk to that
Got
girl
it.
again. I wouldn't say that I was like a coward, but it was more like I knew when I was defeated. So I just was like,
Quack.
nah, not gonna fucking try. This one's over. We tried, boys. We gave it all we had. And then I
Quack.
remember talking to this other girl at a different camp. Yeah, it was at like so we had this retreat in the mountains, different mountains than my friends lived. This place was called Leone Meadows. This place was far from everything. It took like 3.5 hours to get there, pretty much wherever you were going from, because it was like the middle of buttfuck nowhere, like super north California. So it was a it was a camp for pretty much everybody that was like 14 and 15, when you're like on the edge of being the age to just like hang out at the camp that I mentioned before, and now you had to consider being a CIT, a
Quack.
counselor in training. So basically, instead of just attending everything, you kind of like monitored the little
Quack.
kiddies and make sure they didn't do any of the shit that you were trying to do just a little bit ago. Um, but like nobody really cared about that. It was just an excuse to keep being in the program and keep seeing your friends or your crushes or whatever. So I went to this first class, and there was this cute girl in there, but I didn't really like look at her or anything, because I honestly I hadn't even thought of
Quack.
like, oh cool, get a chick's number yet. Like I wasn't even on that yet. I was just kind of like, all right, well I'm
Quack.
nervous because these are a bunch of like strangers and weirdos, so hopefully I can make friends or whatever.
Cool.
And we got banded into groups, and we had some really quiet people in my group.
Nice.
This girl was in my group, and then we had this obnoxious ass, like 6'4" white boy, like capital WH, loud as fuck. And they were like, oh, okay, well, let's talk about some of your interests. And he's like, interests? We don't need to talk about nobody's interests. It's all about football, football, football. And I was just like, oh my God. And so he was nice. He was just like a real country bumpkin. And the reason why I'm telling this story is because something funny happened. That girl was actually trying to get my attention. I guess she thought that I was cute. And I am oblivious as all hell. I have no idea when people are trying to get my attention. Um, Thankfully, that's something that me and Brittany have in common, because she was oblivious when I was trying to talk to her. But anyway, um, ooh, this is a nice gun. Uh, since the girl was trying to talk to me, I remember we had a break, and so we were sitting on folding chairs. And during the break, the teacher had removed the chairs for us to do some kind of exercise, which I don't remember what it was. But then afterwards, we were putting the chairs back. And this girl grabs a chair for me. Sorry, I'm trying to remember and concentrate, and I'm sucking ass at it. This girl grabs a chair for me to sit down, and she like comes over to hand it to me. And motherfucking football guy like basically shoulder tackles her, and he's like, "I got you a chair. Don't worry about it. It's all good, brother. We gonna sit down and have a good time." She wanted to fucking choke him out. She wanted to murder him, which was really funny. It's like I looked at her, and I was just like, I'm sorry. I guess he already gave me a chair. I'm good, but thank you. I really appreciate it." And I was oblivious. And then like after we had groups, and then she like grabbed me and like made me sit in her group. Then I kind of got the hint, like, oh, this girl is really trying to talk to me. Okay, maybe I'm just fucking stupid. And then she wrote me a note, and she was like, "Finally, I thought I was gonna lose you forever to Mr. Football." And it ended up being really funny, and she was adorable. But the problem was, she lived in a place called Clear Lake, where everybody's kind of like rich. And as I told you before, I did not come from money, and so she told me, like, she gave me her email address and everything for the end of the thing, because I think we were out there for like a week. But then she warned me. She said, just to let you know, my mom is actually extremely racist, and I don't think my mom will be okay with you calling me, or if she knew what you looked like. So we'll kind of have to talk on the down low. So what I'll do is I will call one of my friends from school, and they will three-way you and call you so that we can talk. And I was like, okay. And so I was just like, well, I don't want to cause any trouble, but like, I like you too. Cool, we'll try to do whatever. Well, that didn't work so well because the friend called me like we were supposed to, but instead of her like kicking rocks and just letting us talk, she stayed on the phone and was like one of those people that was giggling at every fucking thing I said, even if it wasn't funny. And again, I was oblivious then, so I didn't pay attention to like the signs that she was a shitty person. And we had a good time. We hung up. We said, "I miss you. Hey, hopefully I can talk to you soon." Blah blah blah. Well, like a couple days later, I get a call from the friend again, and I'm like, "Oh, okay. Are you gonna call Helene?" And she's like, "Oh no, Helene can't get on the phone today because she's grounded. So she wanted me to call you and tell you that she misses you." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate it." And she's like, "Well, we could talk for a little bit." And I was like, Okay." So I talked to this girl a little bit. She's like asking me like where I'm from, what I like to do, what church do I go to, this, that, and the other. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so like I talked to her for like, I don't know, 20 minutes, and then I was like, well, I should probably go then. Like you know, I don't want to make Helene mad that I'm just like chatting up her best friend. She's like, oh, we're like basically the same person, so she doesn't mind, but I'll talk to you soon. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, she called me again the next day. And she was like, no, she's still grounded, but I just figured I would check on you. I can let her know everything you say. And then I was like, well, this is a little weird now that it's like twice with no Helene. And she was like, yeah, maybe we'll get to talk to her next time. And then when she calls me like a third time, she was like, so like, what do you see in her? And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, I mean, she can't even really talk to you half the time. She's always in trouble. So like, you could just talk to me instead. And I was like, aren't you guys supposed to be like best friends? And she was like, well, I mean, we are friends, but I'm just saying, like, it's the truth. She knows it. Like, she's always in trouble and she can't really handle relationships like I could. So I'm just saying, like, if, if you ever like want to stop talking to her, you could just talk to me. And I was just like super uncomfortable. And I was like, yeah, okay, well, look, I have to go, but let Helene know that I still wanted to talk to her, okay? And so then a week and a half goes by, nothing. And then all of a sudden, I get an email. And it was from a very angry Helene saying, that two-timing bitch was talking to you the whole time. I was never in trouble. She just wouldn't, like, do the three-way with me. She was talking to you for herself. And I was like, oh my god. She made it seem like you couldn't talk to me. She was like, no, she just wouldn't call me. And then she would avoid me at school, and I would ask her if she had gotten to talk to you, and she'd be like, oh no, like, I'm waiting for you, but I'm in trouble and I can't be on the phone. And I was like, holy shit, dude. So that was like some scandalous shit, but then that girl, that same like shitty girl, ended up trying to talk to one of my friends, and I kind of warned him. I was like, my dude, she's like desperate as hell, bro. You should like really be careful. And she ended up starting some drama. She was like a super drama queen. But that's kind of been my only experience with like school and people and things like that. It's just drama, bro. Like I've never had um, the experience where it's like, oh, I grew up with them, I went to school with them, I had them in third period. That chest is breathing. Did you see its mouth? Yeah. No, we're not playing that game. No. Oh, you're dead now. Give me that gun, bitch. Oh, I can't go this way. Fuck. I did have people that I grew up with. I remember, I'll tell you this story. When I was about 4 or 5, I had played Sonic the Hedgehog for the first time in my life, and I thought it was the coolest game ever. And my mom was really, really good friends with this lady from the church because they were pregnant at the same time. So her daughter, her middle daughter, and me are literally like, I think like 11 days apart. And so we were really, really close. But I ended up being closer to their son that they had later than I was to the daughter, just because, I was a little kid. I didn't want to talk to girls, ew, cooties, all that jazz. And so after my whole Sonic experience, and I was like super all about video games, I remember one time I was bored because our moms went into this craft store, and we were looking at this specific this specific shelf in the craft store, and it had these golden rings. And if you know anything about Sonic the Hedgehog, he collects golden rings. And so I was like, "Ooh, look at me! I'm Sonic!" And I'm like picking up these fucking rings, and I'm like holding on to them. And so like my friend Tyler, which was the younger brother, he was like, "Ooh, I want to be like Sonic too." And so he picks up a handful of rings. How we didn't just immediately get grabbed by the ear by like some attendant or staff, I have no idea. But nobody saw us, and so he was like, "Well, how are we going to hold on to all these rings?" And so I was like, "I know." And I like loosened one of my shoes, and I'm shoving the fucking rings into the bottom of my shoe like a fucking savage. And so I'm walking around with like my foot half lifted up so I can store these rings. And I'm just thinking, well, hey, if they fall out, that that happens to Sonic too. He loses his rings sometimes, so no big deal. And so the sister comes over and sees what she was like. What are you guys doing? And we're like, oh, we're collecting rings. And so she was like, oh, okay, you guys are playing a game. I want to play too. And so we're like, sure. And so she grabs some of the rings, and then we progress it. Like we start grabbing other stuff that wasn't rings. So I found some like whale-shaped soaps, or like just little hand soaps that were shaped in the shape of like animals or random inanimate objects. And so I shoved that into my shoe too. This is where it started to become a problem. And so the sister Rochelle, she didn't want to do that. She's like, "No, it's kind of grody. I'm not putting that shit in my shoe." Oh, I'm dead. Well, I'll finish the story anyway. So she says, "You know what? I'm gonna start putting the stuff that we've been collecting back, just so we don't get in trouble. You guys should put it back too." And so we were like, "Fuck that. We're not gonna put it back. We're gamers. We've been collecting this shit, you know." And so, being that all of that shit was in our shoes, and we're fucking tiny little people, when we left the store, the sensor didn't detect anything. It's zero contraband, right? We just left scot free. Our moms took us to Taco Bell, and as we're in the Taco Bell, Tyler stepped too hard in his shoe, and obviously we're little hot and sweaty kids. His foot had been melting that fucking soap, and so soap is now oozing out of this fucking shoe, along with all these Sonic rings. His mom is like, "What's going on there?" She's from New York. She's like, "What's going on there? What's in your sneakers?" And she like pulls his foot out, and she's like, "This is all the stuff from the store. Were you taking stuff from the store?" And he's like, "No, mom, we're just playing a game." She's like, "This is stuff from the store. You can't be stealing." She like beats his ass in the store because in the '80s you get your ass spanked. So she whoops his ass. She tells him that he's not going to get to eat any Taco Bell. She takes the tacos away from him. She's like, "You're going to go home. If you're hungry, you can eat like a peanut butter sandwich, but you're not eating Taco Bell. Fuck that." So he's crying, and I'm just sitting there quiet. And the sister Rochelle, she's looking at me. She's like, "Dude, you need to fess up." And I was like, "I'm fess up about what? I didn't do anything." And she's like, "Dude, you so did something. You have shit in your shoe right now." And I was like, "Be chill. It's all good." So I don't know how we managed it, but like I managed to keep my foot in perfect form until their mom dropped me and my mom off at our house. And so we get out of their minivan, we wave goodbye, and I'm walking up the path ahead of my mom to go to the front door, and I stepped too high, and one of the rings flipped out of my shoe. Again, I was thinking it was like a video game. Sonic loses rings when he gets hurt. So I thought it was cool. Like, oh, that was so cool. I lost one of my rings. My mom says, "You dropped something." And I said, "Oh, no, it's okay." And so she picks it up, and she like turns red because she's like, "This is the same stuff that he got in trouble for. Did you have something with you too?" And she like goes and takes my shoe off, and she sees that I've got soap and rings and like little Christmas berries. I think it was like around Christmas time, so there's like those little plastic Christmas berries. And I think I remember getting spanked so hard, and I just cried myself to sleep right there in the living room. I never made it to fucking bed, but I just thought it was really funny that it's like, dude, he just got in like massive trouble, and then like I didn't fess up, and I didn't even bother to go back and clean up the scene of the crime because I'm fucking stupid. I'm just like, "Oh yeah, it's okay, and I'll get the rings next time." But anyway, that is just a couple of embarrassing stories about me that, like I said, I don't really get embarrassed about. So whatever you want to hear about next, if you want to hear about my time in the military, you want to hear how me and Brittany met, you guys want to hear, you guys, you. I mean, unless you're watching this with a friend. If you are, hello, hi, howdy. Whatever you want to hear, just let me know. And I can make as many of these videos as you want. It doesn't have to be the same game. It can be something else. Um, But at any rate, good talking to you, and I hope you have a great day. I also hope that stopped recording.